Well, hey there, everyone. Happy Thursday afternoon. I am King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon. So today, it's not been a soaker. We've seen some showers around the area. Still some more of that rain to come later into the afternoon and into the evening. We'll see some heavier downpours during that time too, and starting to see some of that snow pick up across the Cascades, which this system is going to bring down the snow levels over the next couple of days. And we'll talk about how that could mean here some snow in some lower elevation spots, and also how eventually we'll get back to more of this spring-like and sunny weather as we head on into next work week. But I first wanted to start off with the drought monitor that was just released today. So we see some improvements again across the state of California. You can see a lot of clear areas of any sort of color at all, and that's from about the Bay Area on southward. Now, where we are still noticing some of that color, still could use a little more rain across parts of northern California and heading up closer to extreme northeastern parts of California. Still some more rain is possible and needed across the state of Oregon, and for us, we could use some too. We're definitely running a deficit on our yearly precipitation totals. So far, we've only picked up about 7.5 inches of rain. Normally should pick up about 12.5 inches so far by the 22nd. So this is as of yesterday. So could use a little more rain, and guess what? We do have a system working its way through right now that is helping to produce some of those showers as we speak. So you can see a lot of those bright banded clouds that are right along the west coast of the United States, extending all the way from parts of Washington State down through Oregon and down into Northern California too, which we're going to show you the radar here in just a bit. First off, to what's happening out there currently, Bellingham, cloudier skies. Not really seeing a lot of wetness here as of right now. Definitely had some showers around earlier today, but you can see more of the reflection off of the rocks with all the rain that we've had earlier into the day here closer to Westport. So moisture generally out there along the coast. We've seen some of that move inland, but most of our locations have picked up less than 1/10 of an inch here as we have gone throughout the earlier half of Thursday. Here's what's happening right now. Radar picture shows more steady rain out there along the coast and over the Olympic Peninsula, seeing more of those off and on showers, but light showers here closer to Puget Sound, and that extends down through parts of Oregon. And you can start to see some of that white expanding across the coastal range of Oregon and across the Cascades in Washington and Oregon and down into California too, down into the Sierras. So yeah, we're starting to see those snow levels come back down, and that will start to create some issues when it comes to travel up into some of those passes. Finally, it looks like California getting a little bit of a break, not completely dried down into parts there, but they are seeing much lighter shower activity as we speak. So the system hitting us right now does continue to dive southward, so a lot of the energy dive south into Oregon, and that's where we expect the heaviest snow for the mountains. More of an advisory for us here into parts of the central and parts of southern Cascades too, heading across Washington State. This advisory in effect until 5 a.m., 6 to 15, maybe even close to 20 inches of snow. That will depend on our convergence zone that develops as this system moves on through. So expect some of those higher amounts, maybe even getting closer to Stevens Pass. And then you can see where we have the winter storm warnings that will last until 5 p.m. on Saturday. You can see areas farther south picking up 1 to 2, maybe even closer to 3 feet of snow, gust nearing 40 miles per hour everywhere that you see in the pink shaded areas. That's where we expect to see some of the heavier snow start to come into effect, really. But looking at future radar, you can see today those showers are still around and coming together a little more here during the evening commute, especially near and north of Seattle. We're going to keep that around as we go into the night. A small break as we go late night into the earlier half of Friday before that moisture starts to come back together, and snow levels are dropping tonight, so I think a few spots maybe could see a few snowflakes mixing in with some of the rain around 1,000 feet, maybe just below that. But as we go throughout the course of Friday, that colder air really begins to settle on in, so once we head into Friday night, we start to lose the power of the sun. We start to see things cooling back down, and that colder air just after midnight for our foothill communities heading into more of King and Snohomish County. Get the better opportunities of seeing some of that snow beginning to pick up there during that point. Now, again, we've been saying this pretty much all week, not really seeing any accumulations expected in any of these spots. Now, if you're above 1,000 feet, you could get a quick little dusting or maybe on some grassy surfaces, but I think that's even going to be quite difficult to have here as we head on into that time, because it does break down, and by the time we're heading into the afternoon hours of Saturday, most of the moisture is gone, just more off and on showers, and things are beginning to warm up by that point, and we'll see more of a warm up to come, especially as we head on into next work week. So let's talk rain totals. anywhere between a quarter to a half an inch in most locations. Could see even higher amounts as you go farther south, like around Raymond. Chehalis getting up around 3/4 of an inch to an inch there. And as far as the snow totals, the higher amounts will be farther south again across the state. And then you can see up around Stevens Pass, maybe even Snoqualmie Pass, that convergence zone will be bobbing back and forth north and south. So that could help to increase some of the chances of snow or the amounts that we get into some of those parts where we could see maybe a little more than a foot ahead. Crystal Mountain, more of a rip-off zone, coming in under 6 inches definitely. Forecast today, upper 40s, lower 50s, much chillier than what we had back on yesterday. More rain showers to come as we go throughout the day and here into the evening. Same deal as you head farther south. Redmond up to 49. Monroe hitting 52. Seattle will top off at about 48, and more of the same farther south. Maybe a little more instability down this way, so we could hear a rumble of thunder or two, but I think better chances of that happening will be heading into the day for Friday, as we'll get more of that colder air aloft in place in the higher parts of the atmosphere. But a string of 40s here for highs all the way through Saturday, and you can see those chances of maybe some snow mixing in will be early into the morning. No issues really expected here in the lowlands as far as travel. We'll get into Sunday, get back into the 50s at least, and then by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, seasonal weather, temperatures back into the mid and upper 50s, partly sunny skies, and looks like we're going to stay dry for a little while. I would say the main concern, though, if you do make any sort of travel here across the state, heading through the passes, definitely by tonight and into the earlier part of tomorrow, and then again late Friday night into early Saturday. You want to keep that in mind and check the pass conditions before you head on out. But otherwise, I think this will be a pretty weak system for many of us. Take care, everyone. We got spring-like weather on the way later next week. Have a tremendous Thursday, and we'll talk to you later.